News Dump. Back, we got some new Guardians of the Galaxy images, some posters, some long things there. They're not quite
Yeah,
posters. They're
that's
not
what they're
quite,
called.
9x16s or whatever, but a little bit longer. And it's Rocket as a little baby raccoon growing into Rocket now, little 5-step program.
Rocky Raccoon. Yes, they released a new official poster for the movie and then subsequently released other artwork for like Dolby and IMAX, all these different showings. Yeah. They're all pretty good. By the way, tickets are on sale now for Guardians Volume 3. If you're looking
get them while they're hot.
If you want to see that artwork at Marvel Studios, they're tweeting it out. But Goo, we'll get to this in a second when we talk about the soundtrack. I have a prevailing thought here that's making me sad. That's for sure. About the movie.
Rocket's gonna die.
Well, that's like we've been dealing with that. I almost feel like it's been so obvious he may not die, and I have a suspicion they're setting us up for something else.
Are you gonna link all of these songs to Rocket living?
No.
I thought you were gonna give us a nice deep dive.
No,
YouTube loves that. Smash that subscribe button. Give this video a like. I'm going to use that for the thumbnail. Thank you, Mac. News Dump. So, Mac, James Gunn did drop the Awesome Mix Volume 3. It is on Spotify and Apple Music. A couple artists that are on there: Radiohead, Heart, Rainbow, Space Hog, Earth, Wind and Fire, and one of my favorite songs, The Flaming Lips, Do You Realize?
Yeah, great tune. All-time great tune. They also have Florence and the Machine's Dog Days Are Over. Great song.
Yeah.
I listened through this whole thing. The new song that I like most that I hadn't heard before is San Francisco by the Mowglis. That's a pretty catchy one. I liked that a lot. But Goo, here's where my thought is coming from. It's been so overt almost, the Rocket imagery and the teasing of Rocket's past and maybe where he finishes and dies in this movie, which is probably still going to happen. My thought here, Goo, if you see the very end of this playlist, Redbone, Come and Get Your Love. How did the Guardians of the Galaxy universe open, Goo? How did those movies open? It opened. Come
and Get Your Love.
It opened with Peter Quill prancing and dancing around, right? In pursuit of the orb and Power Stone. I think now that Peter Quill dies at the end of this movie, and we're gonna hear "Come and Get Your Love" during the end of this movie, before or during or after Peter's death. And
hear me out.
If that happens, Goo, I'm gonna cry like a baby.
I think you just stumbled onto something. Rocket's not gonna die. Everyone else is.
That's a possibility.
So now,
the
Rocket, his biggest fear, once again, being alone.
The image.
He has no family.
We know Drax isn't coming back, at least in the version we know as. And then all these images have shown Rocket separate.
Yeah.
But you're right. That could mean the rest of them die and Rocket lives, which would be interesting. That would be a swerve.
Which would, once again, at the end of Infinity War, one of the sadder things when James Gunn explained it to us after is when Groot is being dusted away and he's saying, Dad.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, maybe Groot survives. Maybe those two survive. I don't know. But it seems like they're almost pulling the wool over our eyes with all this Rocket stuff. And I am now concerned for Peter Quill's life.
Well, this Groot could die, and then Rocket could just plant a new one. And it's not the same Groot. But it's not the same Groot, though. So he has to grow and love a new Groot, which I'd assume is pretty difficult over and over again.
That, to me, Goo, I know it's his son, really, but that's almost like you have a devastating dog death after like 15 years. Then you get another dog. That's a devastating death. At some point, you're like, I can't deal with this heartbreak anymore.
So do you think that he doesn't plant a new Groot?
Maybe.
I feel like he would.
I don't know. I feel like Groot survives. I'm pretty confident in that.
News Dump. Oh boy, tons of trailers. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and they gave us some more insight to what this movie is. Guys, I didn't even hit a sound button. That's Mac.
Goo, this dropped just this morning. And I've already watched it 3 times, so that tells you how good this trailer is and how excited I am for it. Across the Spider-Verse comes out, I believe, June 2nd or June 3rd, early June. It opens with Miles Morales in like a bodega fighting a villain called the Spot, which sounds like it's voiced by Ryan Reynolds. Did you pick up on that?
No.
Yeah, I think it's Ryan Reynolds playing the Spot.
Okay.
And then it cuts to him at like a parent-teacher conference, and I think Rachel Dratch is that teacher. I was picking up on all sorts
I
of
was saying, I
voices
don't
this
think
morning.
that one really matters.
No, it
I mean,
doesn't. But it's
we
just,
love Rachel Dratch,
I'm
obviously,
just
but
pointing it out.
Rachel Dratch, carrot sign facing Lenny Clark.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, most things.
Line in the sand.
Although Lenny Clark, carrot sign facing him over Dennis Leary. That's for sure.
I thought you say Lenny Clark, carrot sign facing over Lenny Clark. And I was going to ask you, what?
We finally get a little more solid plot or what's going to happen in this movie here. Spider-Gwen pops in, pulls Peter into like this multiverse lobby, which is essentially a hub where all the Spideys hang, which is a cool concept.
Yeah.
It looks like Miles is given the choice to save a loved one person, or if that person dies, he has the opportunity to save the whole world, the whole multiverse. And, you know, naturally being a young hero, he's going to want to do both. And that seems like that's going to be the jumping off point for this movie. Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara, voiced by Oscar Isaac, wants Miles to make the sacrifice to save everyone.
Much
and
like
Miles,
they did. Yeah.
Right. And Miles is going to want to not do that, not be told what to do. So that's a really interesting concept because they'll be fighting each other, but not really. It's a little pulling your punches type of stuff, but that's going to be interesting.
Also, you have the great home life. You know, he's growing up. He's still in high school dealing with his mother and father. And Spider-Man 2099 also makes a reference to Doctor Strange and that nerd from Earth 190-90-99. But that also might be cut out and put in like the MCU universe, referring to that in the movie.
Yeah, it seems like that has to be what they're talking about, right? And so if that's the case, this will be essentially a part of the MCU.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I believe we're going to get Tom Holland in this.
And I really do think that they're going to swap out that line for the actual line of Earth 616 or whatever they're using.
Easy
for the
enough
MCU.
to do. You know, that's super easy to do post
also
editing as well.
Peter B's got a baby, and that's going to add some hijinks.
Yeah, and it looks like the baby already has Spidey powers, which is kind of fun. I'm in on that. And Goo, I laughed out loud watching this all 3 times. The Spider-Man meme scene here. I know it's kind of overkill.
No.
Beating a dead horse here, but the way they do it fucking killed me.
Over under 2.5 times in the movie, they'll do the Spider-Man pointing meme.
I think just because it's in the trailer, it's probably just this one scene, but the way they're doing it is hysterical.
Comedy comes in 3. I'm going to go over.
Triples is best.
Triples is best. News dump. Also got a trailer for Secret Invasion hitting Disney Plus in June? Question mark? Yes, June 21st.
By the way, if it wasn't obvious, full pants tent city for the Across the Spider-Verse trailer. Goo, borderline pants tent for Secret Invasion here. This looks good. Now, I'm not totally surprised by that because I think we were sort of expecting a Winter Soldier-ish espionage thing here, and it's exactly what we're getting in this trailer.
Also, you can say what you want about the show. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier were both Captain America's friends. But the way that show looked might be the best looking Marvel show. So I think that's going to help this show look really good. It's not dealing with a ton of CGI. Don't have CGI characters outside of the Skrulls. So I do think this is going to look good to go along with that Winter Soldier vibe.
Yeah, and also to that point, and so kind of, you know, leapfrogging Christ airing off of my points. Winter Soldier-ish, but with less soups. So not as exciting, but to your point, less CGI.
Yeah, which I think will help.
I think that'll help a little bit. But it also might hurt in terms of the ceiling for this. Like, I don't think this has 40 dog potential.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question there. In She-Hulk, how much more would you have liked it if you didn't have to stare at She-Hulk the whole time?
For sure. No, it's a strong point. I'm not disagreeing there. I also think the production quality on this is going to be naturally higher than most of the other shows because I believe this was originally intended to be a movie. So I think they've dedicated their best to this from the beginning.
Also, they seem to put a little more effort into the returning characters.
For sure. And a Nick Fury show, I don't think Samuel L. Jackson is going to sign up for some bullshit. I think this is going to be really
I think if they backed up the Brinks truck, he would do it for whatever.
Maybe.
Oh, we don't have a green screen here.
By the way,
about it.
Who's the villain that we're fighting that had the tree arm there that we saw in the trailer?
Who is this against?
Yeah, who are we doing this against?
Well, we'll find out in June. News dump. Mac, the next one up here is a trailer that I have never said in and out more than in 2 minutes. And that is Blue Beetle, where they kept on giving us stuff that I thought was cool for a second and then gave us something else. And I'm like, no, never mind.
Here's what I've thought about this now. A couple days after watching the trailer, it looks decent. It looks like a movie I'm going to enjoy. However, I think it's going to suffer severely from having nothing new. Everything in this movie we will have seen before. This is just
That's
the Blue
what
Beetle.
every movie has now. Though.
I know, but this specifically with like the Iron Man type suit.
Well,
with
you
the
know what it does
nanotech.
have that none of the other movies have? George Lopez.
Does have George Lopez, and so it will get some brownie points for having, you know, a Hispanic family featured, which we really haven't seen before. So I hope there's some like hijinks there. But again, this just looks like an Iron Man movie with a younger Iron Man.
An Iron Man who does not create his own suit, and he is he's susceptible to whatever the host wants.
Sure, yeah, but the whole nanotech.
No,
thing,
he's the host. I'm sorry, he's the host.
Well, the parasite is really the Blue Beetle scarab thing.
Yeah, so the parasite is the. I got it the other way around.
Yes. Yeah, I was picking up what you were putting down there. I get it.
Yeah,
I got you.
So.
This is August 18th coming to theaters.
If it comes out, sure.
But this is going to be technically part of the new DCU because it's after the Flash.
Elseworld though. I thought it's Elseworld. Like it doesn't count towards. Yeah, it does not count towards like Gunn's DCU.
I'm not sure. I think
it's Elseworld. I think he said Elseworld with Flash, Aquaman, and Blue Beetle.
Oh, all right, good enough.
So, news dump. Asteroid City, Wes Anderson going Wes Anderson all over your face.
Yeah, I actually, this slipped through the cracks last news dump. I wanted to talk about this the other day. Personally, I am a Wes Anderson fan. Now, that's not to say I like everything he does, but I like what he goes for, more or less. So this is the next Wes Anderson film, June 16th. I actually had this in the movie draft, kept it in the movie draft, as well as Across the Spider-Verse. This might be the most loaded cast he's had yet, and that's saying something. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Grand Budapest Hotel. I fucking love that movie. It's my favorite Wes Anderson movie. If you had to do hear me out on this.
Yeah.
What's your Wes Anderson Rushmore? See what I did there? Because Wes Anderson has a movie named Rushmore.
I don't care for the question, so I'm not going to answer.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is awesome. Royal Tenenbaums is awesome. Moonrise Kingdom is awesome. But when he misses, it's like painstaking when he misses, and he does have a couple of misses. I didn't love The French Dispatch. It was just not. It was almost too messy. And his movies are messy, but sometimes he needs a little bit more of a single storyline to hold to. And The French Dispatch just did not have that. This looks like it will. The concept is interesting. It's like 1955 in a desert town where they're testing nuclear shit. So I think it'll be better than the most recent stuff, but I'm looking forward to it.
News dump. Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, which sounds like a Power Rangers movie, premieres this week on Paramount Plus.
This is a prequel series made specifically for Goo. He's a big Pink Ladies guy.
There's no Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm out.
Yeah, no Pfeiffers. It's true. I don't really know. It's going to be a musical, so I hope there's some good music.
It has to be a musical.
No, I think it is.
It has to be.
But as a series, that's obviously a little more interesting. We've seen it be successful with Glee. I just don't know if a prequel to Grease, so set in the 50s, is really something we're looking for.
If they don't give me a CGI Stalker Channing where they really ugly her up, I'm out. She was 40 when she played Rizzo, and they just said
30.
She was like 80. She looked like she smoked 7 cigarettes a day.
Yeah, not great.
An hour.
Great.
Scratch
that's
that.
For sure.
Also, and I've said this on Twitter many of times, but the opening credits of Grease where they have like the cartoon characters of the characters is the meanest thing that any movie has ever done to an actor. Rizzo is so ugly in that.
It's caricatures. What do you want? They're not supposed to be flattering.
I'm Rizzo.
I got that caricature done of me at Boston Fan Expo a couple years ago, and it was not flattering.
And you look just like Kaneki.
No, less scars, more chins.
You know what they say about a hickey from Kaneki?
I'll tell you. Yeah, you know what? Those two are dating, and they're both 54 in the movie.
It's a good thing they weren't dating children in the movie, because they're both very much adults.
Yes.
News dump. Succession has returned for
Return
its
of the
fourth
Queen.
and final season. And every time that I go to start this show, I see that it's an hour long, and I'm like, I'll start it tomorrow.
Yeah, so I have recently been running through shows that like I should have watched in the first place. I'm pretty much caught up on Yellow Jackets. I might be one episode behind in season 2 here. I just watched The Bear last week, Goo.
You loved it, right?
Started strong, kind of fell flat a little bit. I honestly didn't love it by the end. It's a good show, not nearly as good as people said.
Would you put it above or below Cocaine Bear?
Oh, it's above Cocaine Bear for sure.
All right, I'll think of some more bear movies in a second.
It's a good story, good emotional premise, some funny moments in there. It didn't finish as strong as it started, but still a good show. That's on Hulu. Only 8 episodes too. So that's an easy watch, half-hour episodes. Succession is the show that I'm going to dive into this week or next week. It's in its 4th and final season on HBO. Everyone that watches this show says it's the best show on television. It's not like, oh, you'll like it, or it's not like White Lotus where you're like, yeah, it's this, that, or the other. Everyone says Succession is amazing, so I know I'm going to like it. So I'll be starting it soon.
News dump. HBO is set to reboot the Harry Potter series. J.K. Rowling will be involved, but not the showrunner.
You kind of butchered that open there. They're set to reboot Harry Potter as a series.
What did I say?
You said the Harry Potter series. So they're going to disregard the movies. You know, we had 8 movies from 7 books. They are taking these 7 books, Goo, and turning it into a television series. And obviously, HBO does the best work out of any. This is really intriguing. They said each book is going to be its own season. Some of the books are only 300 pages. Some of them are 1,300. So that's going to be weird to see how they adapt that fully. I would be less excited for this if it weren't for the Hogwarts Legacy video game. Mm-hmm. The world that they built in just the video game is fucking awesome. So I think they have a chance now in this series, as opposed to a movie where they can't really expand the universe too much, to really do that and really get into some stuff that they don't really talk about in the movies that are in the books, but they can even expand upon the books. Now, I think there's a chance here that it might get a little Game of Thrones-ish where they're overreaching for unwritten material, but at least the books are done now, so there's that part of it. The downside though, is the other stuff in the Harry Potter universe, Fantastic Beasts.
No, like the vegetable.
No, just good. No, it's like Swiss Beats. It hasn't done that well. So I think there is some downside here. But as much as I like the Harry Potter movies, I'm not going to pretend they're amazing. I just like them because I like Harry Potter. There's potential for this to very easily surpass the movies.
News dump. We got word yesterday from The Rock that a live-action Moana is in the works very, very early on, and he said that he is involved, and we assume that he'll be reprising his role as Maui.
Yeah, he will be reprising his role as
Maui.
Maui.
Is that confirmed?
It is. It is.
He never came out and said it, though.
It's gonna happen.
Okay. Wow.
Very interesting phrasing they used. This is a live-action reimagining. Now, I don't know why they just wouldn't use remake. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're finally figuring out that they can't just do a shot-for-shot remake on these live-action things. Moana is going to be tough. Moana, to me, is easily the best Disney animated movie of the new ones.
I think it's like I love
head and shoulders above everything else. Best music as well. I don't really need, this is too early for a reimagining, if you ask me. But of course, everyone's going to see this.
News dump.